Hello everyone, and welcome to this new tutorial. Venus is a decentralized finance lending protocol that allows users to borrow and supply cryptocurrencies. When borrowing on Venus, users must provide collateral in the form of other crypto assets. This enables them to borrow the asset they need. How much can I borrow? Each token on Venus has a collateral factor which defines the maximum amount you can borrow against your supplied asset, and a liquidation threshold which indicates the point at which your position becomes eligible for liquidation. In some markets, these two values are the same. That means if you borrow the maximum allowed, you could be liquidated very quickly if the market moves against you, so it's important to be cautious. On newer markets, however, there's usually a small buffer, typically 2 to 3% between the collateral factor and liquidation threshold, giving users a bit more breathing room. It's always essential to understand the settings of the specific markets you plan to use before interacting with them. The amount of required collateral is determined by the health factor of your position. This metric shows the safety of your loan and is calculated as the ratio between the value of your collateral and your borrowed amount. If the health factor falls below 1, your loan is under-collateralized and at risk of liquidation. What is liquidation? Liquidation is the process where part of your collateral is sold off to repay a portion of your loan, bringing your health factor back above 1. When a liquidation occurs, the borrower loses only part of their collateral, which is used to repay a portion of the debt. The typical loss from a single liquidation event is around 3 to 5% of your total capital, as long as you are not using leverage. As you can see, this is very different from liquidation in futures trading, where users often lose their entire position. It's important to note that liquidations on lending protocols are typically handled by third-party bots. These bots are well-funded and monitor the protocol constantly to identify unhealthy positions and process them quickly. This prevents bad debt for the protocol and makes liquidation profitable for the liquidator. On Venus, the liquidation fee is 10% of the repaid amount. This fee is split evenly. 50% goes to the liquidator, and 50% goes to the Venus treasury. How does the liquidation process work on Venus? First, once your position becomes unhealthy, bots detect it as under-collateralized. Second, a bot selects a specific asset from your supplied collateral and calculates how much of your debt to repay maximum 50% per liquidation event. Third, the bot repays the chosen portion of your loan and takes collateral of equal value in USD, plus a 10% liquidation fee in the asset they selected. Fourth, the event is complete and your position becomes healthy again, but still potentially close to the liquidation threshold. Fifth, if you are liquidated, you should take immediate action. Either supply more collateral or repay part of your loan to avoid further liquidations. Liquidations are designed to protect lenders from loss and ensure the protocol remains solvent. This contributes to the overall stability of the Venus ecosystem. Let's review some examples. Example 1. Using BNB as collateral. The collateral factor of BNB is 80% and the liquidation threshold is 80%. User deposits $1,000 in BNB as collateral and borrows $700 in USDT. BNB drops in value and the collateral is now worth $850. The health factor is 0.971 and the position is eligible for liquidation. Liquidator repays $350 USDT 50% of borrowed amount and receives $385 in BNB, including the 10% fee. So the user's net loss is $35 in BNB, which is 3.5% of their collateral value. The new position status is now $465 in BNB supplied and $350 in USDT borrowed. The health factor is above 1 and is healthy again. Example 2. Using USDC as collateral on Ethereum, the collateral factor of USDC is 78% and the liquidation threshold is 80%. User supplies $1,000 in USDC and borrows $750 in WBTC. BTC rises and the value of the loan increases to $820. The health factor is 0.975 and the position is eligible for liquidation. Liquidator repays $410 in WBTC, 50% of borrowed amount, and receives $451 in USDC, including the 10% fee. So the user's net loss is $41 in USDC, which is 4.1% of their collateral value. Strategies to avoid liquidation. To reduce liquidation risk, users should maintain sufficient collateral and keep an eye on market conditions. Regularly monitoring the value of both your collateral and borrowed assets is key. Monitoring the value of your collateral. If the value of your collateral drops, the risk of liquidation increases. If it rises, the risk decreases. In our first example with BNB as collateral, falling BNB prices increase risk, while rising prices reduce it. The new position status is now $549 in USDC supplied and $410 in WBTC borrowed. The health factor is above 1 and is healthy again. Monitoring the value of the borrowed asset. If the asset you borrowed, in this case WBTC, goes up in value, your loan's USD value increases, raising liquidation risk. If WBTC drops, the risk goes down. This is shown in our second example, where rising BTC price increases exposure. If you're using volatile assets as both collateral and borrowed funds, you must closely monitor your position and adjust as necessary. Understanding liquidations is essential for anyone participating in DeFi. The automated and decentralized nature of liquidations can have a financial impact on borrowers, so it's important to proactively manage your risk. In our upcoming Venus Super App, users will gain access to a range of DeFi agents and automated strategies, including liquidation protection. This feature will automatically help shield you from liquidation events. However, it's still vital to understand how the process works, including the triggers and defense mechanisms, because a solid understanding empowers users to navigate the DeFi world with greater confidence. That concludes this tutorial. See you again soon for more walkthroughs and guides.